Hey everyone, Erin here from the Impatient Gardener. Welcome to another very casual, mostly unedited garden stroll where we run around and I show you what's happening in the garden and we talk about things. Sometimes we do viewer mail. Today is just slightly different. I'm kind of eking this in, filming this Saturday late afternoon because I want to make sure I can get this up. Tomorrow, the day you are watching this, is Easter. Happy Easter if you celebrate. And I'm sort of in the middle of projects, so I probably look like I'm in the middle of projects because it's really actually been a great day for gardens. And it's been like the first day where it's really tolerable to be outside doing things all day long, at least on a weekend when I'm available. So let me show you what's happening. Let's walk around. I did film a couple of little bits and pieces today separately, and I'll just kind of flip those in here too. And the first thing is a lot of people asked for an update on the purple bellvine seedlings. So we went down in the basement and I gave you a little tour of what's happening with the seedlings, those and others. So that's the first thing. We will come back after I put that in here. So I've had lots of requests to have an update on some seeds, specifically purple bellvine. And I'm going to show you what's happening here. It's kind of interesting. I had random germination at different times and very different growth in some of them. So let me show you two of them. These are the best two, which have been bumped up to 4-inch pots. They're starting to vine. I got to get a stick in there. I mean, doing really quite well. Then we go to the rest of them, which have still not been moved up. And honestly are just like, this one is the best of these right here. Oops, let me get you focused, sorry. There. That's the best of these. I think, but these all germinated, they all germinated fine. Well, I think most of them did. It's just that some just took off and some didn't. So listen, you guys, it's a fickle beast, this plant. So that's purple bellvine for you. So I'm happy I have at least two good ones going. Hope they stay happy in here. I'll show you just quickly what else is going on in here. I have lost a couple of peppers because this is what happens. Things don't get watered. I get busy, yada, yada, yada. There's some peppers still fine. I'll be fine on peppers no matter what. I did plant some castor beans. Those are right here. The little hibiscus, the zinger hibiscus I started are back there. We'll just make our way down here. Impatience, right? Yes. Solarscape, Impatience, and Coleus. That's coral candy. That's annual phlox, which I did not start from seed. I bought plugs. I have a bunch of geraniums. These are all the geraniums, not the ones in front, but the darker green ones in the back, that I took cuttings of last fall. And they are really looking good. I also here have, this is, here, let me pull this out for you. This is a cutting of my Fatshedera. I had others that I've given away, but this one is looking really, really good. So it was not difficult to start from cuttings, which you might expect because one of its parents is ivy. So I'm quite excited about that. Really nice variegation on that one leaf right there too, by the way. I did want to show you something cool. So the flower, the geranium that I took cuttings of last year is this one. And this is Pink Batik. Something Ease Pink Batik. And it's this cool, I don't know, how would we describe that flower? Sort of stripy, speckled flower. But I got sent as samples to me Pink Batik's partner, which is Pelargonium Big E's Pink Panther. And they're both blooming right now. And would those not be fabulous together? I just think those two together would make such a great combination. Apparently I'm getting into pelargoniums. Who am I? I don't know. I never thought that would be me, and here we are. The rest of what you see, sorry, I just had to. The rest of what you see on the floor here are some annuals that were sent to me as trial plants. They're all in here right now because I think it's too cold out in the greenhouse for them right now. So they're in here. We've moved on to the floor here. This whole top row is all Nicotiana, and I'm still trying to grow more. I had very poor germination with, unfortunately, some of my favorites. And I think it's because I was dealing with old seeds. So I bought new seed, and I'm trying to get some new ones going. But I do have a lot going here. Anyway, I've got chocolate chip. This is Mojito. This was a new seed this year. I just potted up these chocolate chips today. This is Langsdorffii, and that's also Langsdorffii. What else is in here? Oh, this is lime, a lot of lime in the front, but I only have like 4 of those. So I had really disappointing germination. Oopsie, sorry about the finger. Really bad germination on many things this year, and I do believe it's because my seed stash is just old. So we're gonna do a major cleaning. We're gonna start with some fresh seed for pretty much everything next year. These are my dahlia seeds. These are the ones that I saved. That's Black Forest Ruby back there. This is Verbena bonariensis Vanity grown from seed, and Sun something Kiss back there. What is this? Oh, Kufia and something else. Back there is Bonsai Basil, which I just planted up into cells today. More phlox and some Verbena bonariensis back there. And I did have, where's my other Verbena bonariensis? Oh, here, right here. This again, Verbena bonariensis, I bought as plugs. Growing away. Check out the roots at the bottom of this. Looking a little peaked, honestly. I gave it some fertilizer today. Today was fertilizer day, so hopefully everything will have a little bit of a perk up here. So that is the seed starting area. I will just tell you, I'm not going to turn this camera on because it's a holy freaking nightmare behind me. But these are the dahlias that I have left. I have only done 2 crates so far. And we're going to go out to the greenhouse and I'll show you what's happening out there. Everything seems to have overwintered really well. I brought these out of storage about 2 or 3 weeks ago now. And I have to say that most things, now I'm going to look for one and I'm not going to be able to find it, but most things, yes, here's one. This is Crichton Honey. Most things, can you see all the eyes popping up there? This is what I was hoping would happen. I wanted them to really start, you know, sending up some shoots. So I have got to get on top of getting those, whatever's going to get potted up. Some of these, like up here, this is more HS dates. I have probably 8 or 10 HS dates already potted up. So some of these I will probably just keep storing and plant them directly in the ground, just to save time and space and potting soil. I don't necessarily need all those HS dates potted up. There's Fergus. So the basement has just been soil and just a mess and just a whirlwind of things getting potted up down here. All right, so there is I'm sure the garden looks much different from last week. You can see we got daffodils coming up everywhere, alliums coming up everywhere. Most of this that you see through here is, what's the allium? Purple Sensation. That's it. These are all, it's reseeded quite a bit through here. We actually have in here, this is Virginia bluebells, and you can hopefully see we've got the first little start of some flowers there. They'll get much taller, but that's kind of exciting that we're seeing some of that. I've pointed this out almost every week, Isla Gold Tansy, which just looks so ferny and beautiful in here. This garden has not been cleaned out yet for the most part. Many of the other gardens have. I started on this one Friday and haven't quite finished it yet, but you can see around the edges that things are starting to get cleaned up a little bit. I still have obviously like a lot to go through here. But today had other projects in mind. So let's just stroll this way and see what we see. These are all basically alliums. Here is bloodroot coming up, and I think this is the double one that I have planted right here. At least I hope it is. So that is so exciting. Probably maybe my favorite spring ephemeral is bloodroot. If we go through here, you can see we've got a little gold heart bleeding heart popping up here. This is a seedling of Angelica gigas. I had to pause there because I am working on my pronunciation of that plant. I've done it wrong for years. So one of the things you will see everywhere in this garden is this. This is all erythronium, toad lily. This is the native one. And when we moved into this garden, the whole lawn was this. And we haven't done anything to stop it. It's just that once you start mowing it, it will stop growing so well. We have it all over the place, especially like the lawn in this area pops up. It takes about 7 years, I think, for toad lilies to bloom. So we don't actually see the blooms very often. I think as we walk around, you should take note on how probably the best looking plant in the garden everywhere, and you can spot it from a mile away because it's the only thing that's so bright and green, is this Geranium macrorrhizum. It's just really kind of an amazing plant in so many regards, and it just looks healthy and vibrant and beautiful kind of all the time. I did notice over here that I got this sanguisorba coming up. I did find a tag the other day and I forgot, blackthorn maybe. It's coming up right here. I have 3 of them planted in here. They were too tall last year. The reason you see stakes is that they started flopping. So on the agenda, and I should probably take care of it like now, is to dig these out and put those somewhere else in the garden. Beautiful plant. I've just decided that that's not the right place for that plant. And probably what I'll do for a little height in this area is maybe just pop in some Verbena bonariensis for this year, which might be fine long term. I don't know. Let's stop in the greenhouse because in what you saw in the seed video, we did talk a little bit about dahlias. So seedling wise, well, the little fern plugs are starting to, I think this is lady fern, regal red, maybe. Are starting to wake up, which is fun. The ranunculus have not woken up. I did bring out the Salanova lettuces I started and the alyssum. Everything else I think, oh here, and I also brought out these. This is Amelia coccinea tassel flower, and this is Silene Sabella Carmen on that side. Those are actually looking so much better than last year. I'm fertilizing a lot more this year, and I think it's helping a ton, which seems like a dumb thing to say. Of course it's helping, but I think I've been underestimating how much I needed to fertilize seedlings in the past. These are looking really good. Everything needs a good water before I close up for the night back here. The top row here are all the dahlias that are potted so far. I'm using a label maker this year. I will still have to write out labels at some point, but the label maker makes it go much faster. The second row down here are all things that are other bulby type things that I'm starting in pots, mostly because last year I got too late on planting them. Also, this just gives me a lot more freedom, I think, in knowing where things are going to go. For me, my garden is so packed, it often helps personally for me to see things in a pot. So I've got summer hyacinth, acidanthera, that is peacock orchid, Anastasia naked lady lily, first time ever growing naked ladies. I'm pretty excited about that. Got blackstone lily, which actually is popping up. You know, I thought about it. I'm like, you know, when you buy a lily at the garden center, they're in pots. So why in the world couldn't I pot them up? So I did. Everything is looking a little dry though. Definitely got to get everything watered in here. And you know, I don't water dahlias much until I start seeing shoots, but what I'm seeing here is too dry. So I will just kind of do a quick pass with the hose over this. Now, you might notice this view is different because the tree that was broken, that was kind of hanging there, was taken down. So I did film something about that, so let's flip over to that. So you can see that we had the trees that were kind of hanging in the woods here taken down. So the original tree that fell down was an ash tree, which you can see this right here is the chunk of the ash tree. And then it fell into the birch tree, which was our birch tree. Then it fell into yet another tree, which turns out was also a birch tree. And it was all stuck, and we weren't super worried about it, except the neighbors over here were having a bunch of trees taken down the other day. And so we had their tree guys, we all use the same guys, just come over here and take it down. It turns out that that house, this house, and us were just gonna split the cost of taking it down, because it could have fallen on their garden, their vegetable garden. And one of the trees was ours and one of the trees was our neighbor's, so we just split it. So it worked out fine to just get it done. But I just came over here to show you, and we just told them to just let it lay. Clean up whatever hits their property, and other than that, it can just lay out here in the woods, which is fine with me. I'm not opposed to dead wood. Clearly, there's plenty of it here actually. Dead wood to a certain extent laying out here. Dead wood is super good habitat, so it's fine, and the ostrich ferns and everything else will grow up around this, and it won't be a problem. But look at the birch. I can't really get over there because I'd have to cross the creek, but look at the inside of that. It's like red, rotten and red. Really wild. And then over here, this is the other birch that fell. Well, this is what it was all caught up in. Look at how dead that thing was. So anyway, that's the story of birches. Birches don't seem to live long here. We have lost more birches on this property than almost as many birches as we have ash trees. I believe they were all sort of planted or grew around the same time, and so they've just partly aged out, but partly there's something. Some of these, we've got some, maybe the first, other than the ones in the front there, we got some daffodils popping up in here, which is so pretty. So daffodils, some of these daffodils I planted here, some just got sort of ended up here by getting like thrown in here. We've got lots of Virginia bluebells. All the shiny green that you see is skunk cabbage, which is really growing. I mean, last week they were just starting to unfurl. They're just getting bigger and bigger. No sign of the ostrich ferns yet. There is some scilla in here. That just kind of ends up there sometimes. I don't know, I'm just noticing this year, it seems like a lot of grass in the beds this year. And that's a lot of grass right there on that edge. I don't know what that's about. Look at how beautiful that foliage is. So I'm fairly certain that is ambassador allium, which doesn't bloom usually until July. So it's rather shocking that the foliage is this big already, but it is such nice looking foliage. The foliage alone is worth, I can't believe I ever would say that about an allium bulb, but worth growing. Hey, Darwin, can you come out of there, please? Over here, I was very excited to see a friend I don't get to see except in spring, and that is my favorite Japanese woodland poppy, Hylomecan japonica. Here's a patch. These are all patches here. There used to be a big patch around here, and I feel like, I don't know, seems to be not here anymore. But in there, some of that is Geranium macrorrhizum. Here's another little patch. If it has a good year, I will move some around. Oh, there's more over here. If it has a good year, I'll move some around. So this garden was cleaned up, thank God, not by me. So you guys probably know that Carol is back helping me again this year. So Carol comes about once a week, works in the garden for maybe 4 or 5 hours. Sometimes she comes a little bit more if she can. And it's a tremendous help to me. So most of the cleanup that's happened over here has been Carol. And this garden was really a mess. For whatever reason, all the leaves just get stuck in this garden. So it was really a mess. So there's some really interesting things in here, but I have to say, Carol sent me a picture. There were 2 garter snakes in here. Now, you guys listen, I have an incredible fear of snakes. It is totally irrational. I have no reason to have this fear. I just do. Most fears are irrational unless you've personally experienced something and that's why you have a fear of it. They were big. They were really big. So thank God she cleaned this garden out and not me, because literally like I can't go in the garden. Like the last time I saw a snake in the garden, I didn't go in the garden for like 3 weeks. And I know they're just garter snakes. She told me they went into the rocks along the creek there. But they were slumbering. They were moving very slow. She had woken them up. We have monkshood here. That's monkshood right all through there. Boy, is that spread over the years. I think that's also monkshood. There's, you know, I planted some spigilla in here last year. Oh, I do. Is this spigilla coming up here? Maybe. If that's spigilla, it's actually coming. So I have a tough time with that plant. It doesn't like love it. So anyway, we'll see. You know, it's frustrating for me because it seems like you keep thinking like, oh, it didn't come back. It didn't come back. But it's really, really, really early here. I mean, in terms of waiting for plants to come back. Oh, since we are on Crown Imperial Fertility Watch, check it out. We have buds. Oop, it's hard when I'm in the way. We have buds. They're all budded up. That's great. That's going to be a good show probably this week, I would guess. Okay, here's one of the things I've been working on. We talked a little bit about what's happening with this in a previous video, but basically I'm changing this bed line a bit. This bed is getting, well, it's supposed to better match the oval garden over here. So maybe if I stand on this side, not directly into the sun, you'll be able to see this better. Yeah, that should be better. So it's to hopefully better match the curve of the oval garden, which you would have thought I could have nailed by now, but every year I measure it, measure and measure it, and it's never quite right. So anyway, there's a lot of sod removal happening here. So this is as far as I've gotten so far today, and I'm going to pop back out here as soon as I'm done making this video and keep working on this. I'd like to get to about here. And what I'm doing with that sod is, first of all, I'm picking out the lily of the valley because I keep finding lily of the valley in it, and so I have my garbage bag full of lily of the valley here. And I'm flipping it over and laying it here because I'm going to try to level this off a little bit. I don't like this really big divot that we have here. So I'm going to try to, and I'll have to renovate this bed just a little bit. I don't want to get too close to that beech tree, but we're going to fill this in. So I'm not taking the sod far. I'm just bringing it over here and flipping it over, and then we're going to fill this in with some soil or compost. We did plant one of the maples today. I didn't know we were planting this. Next thing all of a sudden I look, and Mr. Much More Patient is over here digging holes. So this is Northwind. This was from the Isley load. And I'm hoping, well, it gets to, I think it gets 20 feet by 15 feet or something like that. So we're hoping it fills in this area really nicely. I just noticed today how one-sided the dancing peacock, Acer, I forget what the species is, but it's Aconitiifolium. Anyway, it's a little one-sided. Anyway, hopefully this one won't be. So this one is the tallest and the biggest of the maples that we got in that Isley load at maturity. So that's planted there. Please be a happy plant. All sorts of stuff popping up in this bed, and it's really fun. So, you know, if you look here, hopefully you can see the little purple shoots. That's a hosta. I think those are all more hostas there. This, you guys, now this is a little messed up because I was working here. This is Carrick's Feather Falls, and I'm gonna cut this back, but I don't know if that made it. Carrick's Feather Falls came out as a Zone 6 plant, and then they said, nope, we think it's hardy to Zone 5. And so I planted it 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and it's made it through every winter, but it almost like evergreen. And this year, it's pretty crunchy looking. So that might be one of those things where, you know, you take a little bit of a chance on the edge of a zone, and sometimes it doesn't always go your way. Here's the Lictrum diadoctum. Let me get this lighter for you. Look at how cute that is. It looks like little broccoli. What What else did I want to show you over here? I think that's the main things over here. But anyway, so I've got a lot of, somehow we're ending up doing a lot of sod removal this year. There is some areas that I'm going to do where I'm not going to remove the sod and I'm going to do sheet mulching. This is not that area because I want to get this planted. I'm also feeling a little uneasy about it because I don't actually have a plan for it, but that's mostly because I can't remember what's all in this bed. I mean, I know what's there, I just don't know what's where. So mostly I'm just going to extend the bed out. There'll be some moving around and some additional plants that come in, but I'm obviously not just going to plant something new just along the edge. That bench is going away. It is not safe anymore. It completely fell apart and rotted out. Something fun is coming in its place. Over here you can see lots of daffodils coming up. Nothing blooming over here, but we've got buds. Oh, I lie. I see something blooming. Let's get close. Well, I don't know what it is, but it's cute. More geranium macrorrhizum. Oh, there's buds on all these daffodils. How fun. Little heuchera popping up here. It's probably carnival watermelon. I did have a tiarella in here, Red Rover, and honestly that has not done super well. Those plants, they don't thrive like they should for me. This was the exciting part of this week. The compost came finally. I don't think it's going to be nearly enough. I think I'm going to have to get another load, but I didn't want their big truck to come because it just rip up everything and they have a hard time getting down our road. This is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful compost. So, and fancy. We got some very fancy compost here. So this place that I ordered it from, it's OMRI listed, I think. Maybe I shouldn't say that for sure. I'm pretty sure it is. And they have regular, yes, it is. And they have regular organic compost, and then they have a special blend that they put biochar in. And so I got 8 yards, that's 8 yards worth, 4 of each just mixed up together. Again, we're just going to look at the wonder that is geranium macrorrhizum. Looking so good on this berm here. Oh, yes, we must look at Cornus moss. Look at how beautiful, beautiful, beautiful this is. Just starting to open up. So, I mean, just what a delightful, I love this plant. I just love this plant. No, not native. I was gonna say it's native, it's not, I don't think. Cornelian cherry dogwood, no, it's not. But look at how pretty. It's just a bright little shining light there. This garden's all been cleaned up. Boy, there's a lot of wood chips that have not broken down in here. I didn't even realize that till now. We are going to, decisions are being made, you guys. Not sure what they are yet, but I think that's gonna go away. Marsh marigolds, which I showed you last week, are all budded up. Hopefully you guys can see those. Darwin. Those are all budded up there. I mean, everything is starting to pop a little bit now, which is, you know, makes you feel good that actually something's on the soil. This is all Carex pennsylvanica here, and it's coming up really, really nice. Lots and lots and lots of alliums. All my allium planting has been worth it. I don't know who he's barking at now. Oh, let's look at the bulb mound before we walk by. Things are starting to pop over here. You know, I think these smaller bulbs, you just don't notice them quite as much, but the Cyanidopsia has showed up like just today. And we've got lots more Iris reticulata. The snowdrops are done, basically. The erythroniums, not the erythroniums, the Aranthus, the winter aconite, pretty much done. Early snow glories, right? That's what that is, I think. And there's a muscari popping up there. So the big, yeah, it's a little strange though. I don't see a lot of daffodil foliage popping up. Daffodils account for a large amount of this. That's quite interesting. I tell you what, it's always interesting when you do a new project and, you know, you live and you learn. It is quite surprising to me that I don't see more daffodil foliage here, because that should be up, right? Interesting. Well, we'll see what happens. I love this. I love this concept, and I love the look of this. So, Darwin, that's enough. Stop. So I am committed to this for the long haul here. This side's quite pretty. Just a little Iris reticulata coming up. So this, I'm going to show you this. Well, here's some pulmonaria. Early to rise, which is always nice. This rhubarb over here is crazy to me. This was here when we got here, and this was a very shady area when we got here. So, I'm not pointing my camera at it, so that's helpful. And it grows huge. It tastes pretty good. And I actually end up letting it flower a lot because the flowers are kind of interesting and I sort of forget about them. In fact, that stalk that you see right there behind it is last year's flower stalk. I don't know. I mean, I baby the one in my garden like crazy, and then you get this. We are starting to see some of the leaves of butterbur. So we've been looking at this every week. Here are the leaves coming out on the butterbur. So you can see those here, and those will rapidly grow to, like, you know, almost 2 feet in diameter probably. Here's the more of the flowers, those crazy looking flowers. But now the leaves come out. Okay, I see that my battery alarm is going off on my camera. So let's end this there. So last night, it was kind of a nice night. I had rained most of the day, and I did a little work in the garden, and then I grabbed my glass of wine and I strolled around the garden, which is the first proper little, you know, private cocktail hour stroll that I'd done this year. And I loved it. It reminded me, I don't know, I just love that stroll, whether it's with coffee or a glass of wine or whatever it is. Like, I have to say, like, one of my favorite times in the garden is just strolling around, observing and seeing all the things that are happening. And right now there is a lot happening. Even though there's a lot that isn't happening yet, I'm quite satisfied with the things that are happening. All right, you guys, that's today's, sorry for the oddly disjointed video today. I don't know, it's a lot happening. I'm sure there's a lot happening in your garden too. It's good, it's go time. I like it. All right, you guys have a great day in your garden. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and we'll see you this week. Thanks.